considered the present to you. So whenever you play a card, that is the present. The effects of a card that says present at the top only happen in that era. So for example, if I have a card that says...
What's that card do?
This card is a trap. So
okay.
It says target time traveler may not leave this era until the end of turn, and it says present. So when I activate this trap, the effects only happen here. So I better make sure that I'm not the only one in this era when I activate this, because it keeps the time traveler there. Unless, of course, I want to stay. Okay? Now, if it says timeless, like this card does, this says deal 1 damage to target time traveler. It can happen anywhere you want. It doesn't happen only in this era. It can happen here or here or here. If it said all, it happened everywhere. So that's the way timeless works, and every card has that. So you have to know, is the effect only gonna happen here, or do I need to go to where the other time traveler is to make sure that I hit them with the effect of this card? And that's the game. That's the whole thing.
So if you can tell us if you can go over one of the mechanics, like play an ability or play an event, and just kind of show them, maybe like a turn or two.
Okay.
So I'll have my 4 cards here, and and we can just go through a few turns.
We're going to give an example turn or two here, and so the way that the game would go, we're going to assume that I got to go first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move to the future, and that'll signify I'm going to use my first ability for the turn. It has a requirement of 4 intelligence. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so I can use it. The second ability I'm going to use is draw a card, and that has a requirement of 6 intelligence, and I have, like I said, 7, so I can use it. So once I use my second ability, I have to deactivate my guy, so I can't use any more of his special abilities, and I'm going to draw a card from that. Now I have 8 intelligence, so I'm going to play a card called Book of Secrets, which is a relic, so it comes to the era that I'm in, and I'm going to activate it and draw a card. Now I'm also going to play a card called Time Bow, and what this allows me to do is allows me to deal damage to a time traveler, but it doesn't matter what era they're in because it has timeless. So I'm going to go ahead and deal 1 damage to Ryan over here, the cyborg, and
so I'm at 22 life, so I go to 21.
Yep. And I'm going to play a transfer chalk, and that requires 6 intelligence as well. So I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can play it. So I play it, and what this does is it lets me copy a relic or a armament, and it doesn't copy the whole card, it just copies the abilities. But this is a trinket. So I'm going to copy my time bow, and I'm going to do another damage to Ryan.
I go from a 21 to 20.
And I'm going to go ahead and end my turn. That's my first turn.
Okay, so my turn here. Thomas has drawn the ultimate hand, just so you know. So I draw a card. This era does discard a card upon entering this era. If you're not a cyborg, return target relic or trinket from your void to your hand. I have to have a 7 intelligence. Can only be used 1 per turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chase down Thomas here, or the politician. And let's go see what I'm going to do next. I'm going to... What if I have a horrible hand?
Just
yeah, I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play an event or spell, Whirlwind. All time travelers shuffle their void deck and hand together and draw 4 cards.
Okay, now I have a response to that. So what I'm going to do is I have a card called Lightning Storm, and it has light speed. What light speed means is you can play it whenever you want, on their turn, on your turn. It doesn't matter when. So I'm going to play it, and it deals 3 damage to target time traveler, and it says present, so that happens here, and because he's here, I can deal it to him, and so he takes 3.
So then I go from 20 to 17 now.
So this happens, and then now the effects of this card happen, and so this is in my void, and we have to take our hands, our void, and our decks, shuffle them together, and draw new 4 cards.
So I'll draw the shuffle. I'm going to draw the 4 cards here. This gets removed from the game. Take a look at what I got here. Oh, look at that. I got some weird cards now.
Me too. Oh wow, you got a really good
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to play Neural Enhancement. I have intelligence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Neural Enhancement has a 4 intelligence. The effect of the card, I have to draw 2 cards.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing I don't think I explained. So there's a second number on all these cards, just in case people are probably curious about this. The second number is how many cards you're going to draw or discard if this card is successfully played. So because it has a +2 on it, he's going to draw 2 cards when he plays this card.
But I have to take 2 damage. But the effect is I take 2 damage. Take 2 damage, draw 2 cards. So my intelligence goes up. I go from a 5, I go from 5 to 6 now. What else do I got here? So then I can play Barbed Shield.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then so Barbed Shield, I play as an armament, so this goes in the 3rd row. I'll just keep this here so people can see it.
Yeah, this is just his hand. It's not in play.
Yeah, so the 3rd row. It says whenever I'm dealt damage, you may have 1 damage. 2 of that source take a damage. So if he attacks me or does damage to me, he'll take a damage. I get to draw 2 cards. Oh, look at that.
Wow. Really?
Then I draw a Book of Secrets, has an intelligence of 3. Put this in play. This is a relic, so this actually stays in this era. I will activate this to draw a card. Then I will, what else will I do here? I will play a Mechanical Limb, which is armament. This goes in the 3rd row. Yeah.
You got that?
Yeah. So,
Oh, you just bumped it.
okay, so make sure this goes in. So this is in the 3rd row. So this actually stays on me, and this basically gives me 3 counters. Makes me 3 plus 3 stronger. So now I'm gonna use my second ability for
Now,
the turn.
when you say stronger, you mean your
Oh,
power,
my
right?
power goes up by 3. So so I'm gonna do is I'm going to activate by using my second ability and attack for 3 plus 2. So I do 5 damage.
Ow, that hurts. So I take 5. I'm at 14.
And
Is that it? You don't have anything else?
can I play another one of these?
No, you can't.
Why
And
not?
actually, armaments, you cannot double up armaments. You can have as many armaments as you want on your guy. This is the difference between relics and, between trinkets and armaments. The difference between trinkets and armaments is you can have as many copies and as many trinkets as you want on your time traveler, but with armaments, you're only allowed to have 1 of each copy. So you can't double them up. So he cannot have 2 mechanical limbs. He can only have 1. He cannot have 2 barbed shields. He can only have 1.
Yeah, and in some certain instances, the way you kind of want to look at it too, for depending on how new you are to kind of these kind of card games, is because for me it took me a little while to kind of get used to some of the things. And think of it as a trinket as like a charm or bracelet. You can have multiple of those, whereas you're not going to necessarily wear 2 pieces of armor. You might have 2 guns, and obviously there'll be times when certain armament weapons will have, you can have them both at the same time. But as a general rule, or the rules of the game is, armaments you can only have 1 of the same name. Trinkets you can have unlimited amounts.
Yep. Okay, so you get me for 5, and then now what are you going to do? Is that it?
I don't think I have anything else. Can't draw any more cards.
You have Mending Blast.
I do.
You don't want to play that apparently. You want to save your intelligence.
Oh, I thought Mending Blast. I was thinking Reflect Fire.
Oh,
Okay, so now I'll play Mending Blast because it's not a. I forgot it doesn't have light speed. So you take 3 damage. So it does 2 damage to you. So I just did 8 damage this turn, which is pretty good.
That's really that's ridiculous. Is what that is.
So that makes you go down to 11. I gain 2 life because of it.
So you basically gain the life back from your neural enhancement.
Oh, that's right. Perfect. So then I go back up to. I'll go up to 17 again. Yeah, 17.
That's pretty good. My turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. So now I refresh my cards. And the effect of this era is draw a card at the beginning of your main phase. So I'm going to draw a card for that, and then I draw my card for my turn as well. So now I have these 2 cards in my hand. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 intelligence. I'll draw another card with Book of Secrets. And I'm going to actually play a mechanical limb as well. I'm going to shoot you for 2 damage.
So I go from 17 to 16.
And I'm going to use my first ability and attack, and that's going to be for 4.
Okay, so then I go from 16 to 12.
I'm going to play a Blessed Armor. And what Blessed Armor does is it reduces damage by 1 every time I take damage. So it's going to nullify his Barbed Shield. And I draw 2 cards. From playing this, it has a 2 on it. I'm going to play a Concealed Weapon. And Concealed Weapon lets me go through my deck and actually take some cards from my deck. It says, search your deck for an armament, reveal it to all of the time travelers, and put it into your hand. So I'm going to find an armament. What can I find here? I'm going to get a handgun. Would you like to cut?
Nope.
Okay. And that goes into my hand. Now I'm going to play Eminent Domain, and it's a spell, and it says end, and end means that you cannot respond to this. It just happens. And so I get to take control of target, trap, or armament. And it says present, and he's here, so I'm going to take his barbed shield. And when I take his barbed shield, I don't get the effects of drawing cards, and the reason why is this only happens if it's played from your hand. So, but I do steal it, and so it's going to be quite hard for him now to hurt me. It's kind of nice.
What card did you just play?
Huh?
What card did you just play?
Eminent Domain.
It's freaking.
Don't be mad. And then I'm going to play Handgun. I'm going to shoot him for 1 damage, and Handgun says I can deal 1 to somebody, but I have to take the top card and put it into my void. And for the second ability for the turn, I'm going to go ahead and move to the past. When I arrive, I gain a life, and I'm going to tell him to go. And at the very end of my turn, the past gives me 2 more life, so I gain 3 life back. So I go from, what was I, 12, I think?
Yeah.
So I go from, oh no, I was at 11. So I go from 11 to 15. Or no, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, it's 3 life. I gained 3. So I go from 11 to 14. And then I tell him to go. And I think this gives you a good idea of how the game is played. It is very fast paced. Now there are some it probably appears to be unbalanced at the moment. And it's very important for you to understand there are some balancing things that are not included that we've done to the game. And I'll give you a few examples. This doesn't draw you a card anymore. It draws you a card and you have to discard a card. This draw card here